This month, my AI dropshipping store made $121,000 in revenue. But by the time I paid my taxes, rent, my car, food, and everything else, I only kept a fraction of it. And everywhere you look online, e-com gurus, they're flexing screenshots, Lamborghinis, and penthouses, but nobody actually shows you what happens after the money hits their account. So today, I'm showing you exactly how much profit I really keep down to the last dollar. And by the end of this video, you'll know the real truth behind what a six-figure store actually pays you. And spoiler alert, it's not as much as you may think. So here's our e-com store here. Last month, we brought in 121K revenue. But to give you a little more in-depth look, I want to take you behind the scenes because although $121,000 sounds like a lot of money, we have to spend ads, we have to fulfill orders, some customers want refunds. So after all expenses, we are walking away with $37,000 net profit for last month alone. And at first glance, that is a shit ton of money, like 37K times 12 months in a year. That is $444,000. But spoiler alert, after taxes, after personal expenses, this isn't as much money as you might think. And if you have a business partner, this amount is going to be split into two, and it is even less. So scrolling down, I have 4 categories of expenses, and this is how I organize my own personal life. So this is how I balance my finances to live the life that I'm now living now, to live in this high-rise apartment, to drive my dream car, to go out to nice restaurants, while all still living below my means and building an investment portfolio to eventually one day retire from the game altogether. So my 4 expenses of categories are broken down into taxes, personal living expenses, business operations and investments, and then of course we have fun. And I have the exact percentages broken down here, but more specifically, I want to go through each of these one by one to show you what a realistic month in my life looks like. And if you're going to be a 6-figure store owner bringing in 100K per month, what you realistically have to look forward to. So let's break down the numbers. Assuming you bring in $37,000 per month, at first glance, dude, that is incredible and big salute to you. It is a big accomplishment, but you realize if you're in the United States, you're probably paying 30% or more in tax. So if you multiply 37K by 30%, every single month you are spending $11,000 in taxes. This is literally you giving money to Uncle Sam, the USA government, and practically burning it because you're never going to get to touch it. So after you profit from the store and pay tax, realistically, you're left with like 26K net profit, which is still incredible. It's enough to live your dream life, but that's definitely not 37K profit. So taxes suck, but you do got to pay them. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Now, the next expense, we have our personal life. So every month, I try to live on less than 25% of my profits, and less than 25%, meaning I have excess left over. So if you're just getting started in this space, maybe your rent is $2,500. And at this point, my rent, $6,000. I wish it was $2,500 still. My first few apartments were that amount, but over time, as I've scaled the business, built my investment portfolio, my lifestyle has upgraded. So in the beginning, maybe $2,500 is what you spend on rent. Maybe you finance a car, you have insurance, you got to get gas. Maybe you're spending $500 a month on a car. With food, between groceries, restaurants, etc., maybe you're spending $1,500. I don't think that's unrealistic, especially if you have a girlfriend, wife, or you're going on dates. And then at this point, since you're rich, you don't got to waste your time cleaning your apartment. You can have cleaners come every 2 weeks, like $100, $150. They'll clean the whole apartment. Maybe you tip them. That's about $300. So with rent, car, and food, you still have 4.4K left over for fun. So if you need to get a fresh fade, if you need to get some new clothes, if you want to send some money to your mom, or if you want to just stack some extra bread at the end of the month, you still have some money left over to do that. So you have taxes, 30%. Personal expenses 25%, and the next section is the biggest. This is our business operations and investments. So with our store, like when you're making 37K a month, you got a few VAs. A VA is a virtual assistant. Maybe you have a customer support VA. Maybe you have a video editor. Maybe you have someone to help with the ads. It's going to vary situational depending where you're at. But then you have your Shopify store. You have other software and subscriptions. Maybe you have UGC creators or freelancers who you're hiring to do specific tasks. So this section is essentially business operations, and you have 14K to reinvest into the business. And your team Shopify software will only take so much. So you should have some leftover funds that you can maybe throw into stocks or crypto. But to be real with you guys, to make money on stocks, crypto, real estate, you need to have hundreds of thousands or millions already set aside. So in the beginning, I think most of you guys will get more value from coaching groups or mastermind, because if you think of it like this, if you were to buy Bitcoin, maybe you hope for a 2 to 3x on your investment, but with a mentorship group, maybe you pay 5K to join a community, you get a few strategies you can implement, and maybe through that, it doubles your business. So don't think you just need to invest in stocks or real estate to get some ROI, because some coaching groups could help you scale the business even more. And this leads us with our last section. You have 5% left over for fun. So when you take your 37K monthly profit times 0.5, 5%, you're left with 1.8K. So this is realistically how you live a life of true freedom. You're living below your means. You're not buying dumb shit. You're being very analytical. Every month I'm setting money aside for taxes. This is how much money I have to live, how much money I have to reinvest, and how much money I have for fun. And a pro tip, if I can't buy something 10 to 20x in full, then I can't afford it. So with a Urus, let's say it's $250,000. If you don't have 2 mil in the bank, you probably shouldn't be buying that. Rolex, let's say this is 15K. If you don't have 150K in the bank, probably shouldn't buy that. Chrome Hearts, I don't know the price point, but same thing. If you don't have 10 to 20x, you probably shouldn't buy that. So let's do a final finance breakdown. We brought in 121K revenue. After all ads, after shipping out orders, refunds, transaction fees, we made 37K profit. But reminder, 30% of that goes to the government. So realistically, we made 25K profit after taxes. From there, we have personal expenses. At most, you're spending $9,000, but ideally you live less than that so you can have some money left over. Because here's the thing, your store might have made 37K this month, but what if next month you run into issues and you bring in only 20K? You need to be thinking about these things, and you need to be budgeting your expenses accordingly. For investments then, again, you have almost 15K each month to throw in, but if your team's small and you're not spending too much on software, you'll probably have some extra funds left over, which is a good thing. And for anything degenerate like a Rolex, Chrome Hearts, or something stupid, you still have 2K per month. So whatever that is, you have $2,000 you can literally throw into the void and you'll still be set because you're balancing your funds accordingly. So yeah, 121K per month sounds pretty crazy on paper, but once you see the real numbers and you realize profit is what buys freedom, not just the revenue, everything changes. So in the comments below, let me know what you think, because most people realistically are never going to reach this point. Not because they can't, but because they're wasting months testing random products and burning ad spend without any direction or guidance. So that is exactly why I created my one-on-one mentorship program. It is the same system I've used to build multiple 6- and 7-figure e-commerce stores, and the same one my students are using right now to hit their first 10K, 50K, or even 100K months. So if e-com hasn't clicked yet and you're still serious, this is your sign. Book a call, talk to my team, and we'll show you what your first 30 days could look like when you finally follow a proven plan. Because you can spend 6 months figuring this out alone, or 6 weeks getting real results with people who've already done it. So it is your choice. The link is down below. Let's work together and make your dreams a reality. Now, if you made it to the end today, you clearly enjoyed it, so make sure you subscribe. And on the screen now are 2 videos you'll enjoy. Check them out, and I'll catch you there.